This episode is sponsored by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro for free at RamseySolutions.com/invest. You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk investing, retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity.
Brandon is with us. Brandon is in Evansville, Indiana. Hi, Brandon. How are you?
Hi, Dave and Rachel. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to talk to both of you.
You too. What's up?
Yeah, I've got a question for you. This is a phone call compared to a lot of the ones you get to have. I've been listening to you since about 2007 or so.
Wow.
I'm debt-free except for the house right now. That's all about to change. I've got a significant windfall coming from work that's life-changing, essentially. And I'm trying to get my ducks in a row. I've met with my financial advisor. I'm meeting with a CPA and a state attorney coming up here in the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
And so the real question becomes the buckets, the percentages, how they change, the give, save, and spend. And really kind of focusing on the giving portion, on like what percentages do you give for that, and how do you put boundaries on that so you don't find, I don't think I have anybody like that would do it, but just, you don't know who's going to come out of the woodwork if you start giving money away, and I just want to be able to help out people, and then on top of that, on the back end of it, just some of the other fun stuff we get to do with it as well.
Yeah. How much money are you getting, Brandon?
Yeah, it's in the 7-figure range.
Over $1 million.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. I'm so proud for you.
That's great.
Way to go, man. You killed it. How old are you?
About 40.
Way to go. Good for you. Man, you're killing it. It's awesome.
Yeah. How much is left on the house, Brandon?
About 100,000.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So most of this is all for you guys.
So
then.
it really does fall in the 3 buckets then. Okay.
Yeah, and really just kind of, I don't know what percentages to put everything in. Obviously, give 10% is kind of an easy one, but then, if I want to go either above that or just help others in my family.
Are you attending a local church?
Yes.
Okay. So evangelical Christians teach and believe, and I'm one of them, that we give a tithe, 1/10 of our income, to our local church. Okay. And so I start with that on mine. So when I get a check like you're talking about, 50% is gone because 40% is going to stinking taxes and 10% is going to tithe. So then
Correct.
The give, save, spend buckets are with the other 50%.
Okay.
Okay. So let's just say you got $1 million as an example. Okay. And, and we're not talking about paying off the house because you're getting more than $1 million. So we'll just use $1 million net. So you're going to pay $400,000 in taxes on it. And, because you have to pay your fair share, you communist. And so, you know how that is, right? A bunch of crap. And so, like it's somebody else's money other than yours.
He
but
can't
it is.
help himself, Brandon.
Anyway, I can't stop. It's close to April 15th. This stuff just comes out. I can't stop it. But anyway,
it's okay, Dave.
So 400,000. Yeah, 400,000 is going to the stupid government. 10% is going to your local church to tithe, and other giving would come out of the 50. So I would add some other percentage out of that other 50. How are you going to break down that other 50%? Towards investing, further generosity and enjoyment or lifestyle adjustment. Okay.
Correct.
And so if you put 10% on lifestyle adjustment, you got $100,000 to blow and have fun with. Go on a trip, buy a car, or whatever. And that would leave you 40% for giving and for investing. If you put another 10 on additional giving, I'm just making these numbers up. There's not a wrong number, a right number. Okay. Then you'd have another 100,000 to give, and that would leave you with 300,000 invested out of that particular $1 million. If it's 10 million, it's going to be 10 times that much. Okay. But so you look at percentages and lay those out ahead of time. And then that tells you, as you can sit down with your investment folk and go, I'm getting ready to bring you a check for this to invest. Let's talk about what we're going to do with it. And then you can start talking about what ministries or charities we want to support with this money. And then you start putting boundaries, as you said, on that to be a wise investor into God's kingdom with ministries and charities. So you don't want, like you said, I don't want to put this in a bad place. And so,
but you can't keep some for an individual, right?
Yeah, you can do some
something
individual
comes
giving,
up,
but
and you want to buy someone a car or something, you know what I mean? You're able to.
Yeah, you
to
can do that too. But of course, tax deductible is going to.
That's true. Yeah.
If you're concerned about that at all, is going to be going to a 501c3 unless you form some kind of foundation. And I don't know how much money you're getting, but you're probably not in the foundation level yet. Because it takes a bit of money to maintain that sucker.
Brandon, I have a question. For this specific amount of money, is this kind of a one-time, like, oh my gosh, this just happened, it probably will never happen again? Or are you in a position career-wise where this could be something that happens every 3 to 4 years? Do you know what I mean? Is it?
It could happen more times over. Let's just say I got on the right bus and they put me on the right seat. So it all worked out well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. So I think especially with that, putting these habits in place, because as this comes up, you'll start to know, it will start to flow more, right? As you lay this foundation. That's exciting.
What I didn't do when I got the first one of these is I was very intentional with everything except I just dumped the giving part in an account, and then I had to clear it out by year end or I was going to get taxed on it. And so I had to rush around at the end of the year and pick out some ministries to put it on. And I did that like 2 years in a row. And a guy who's a billionaire, I was sitting with him, he said, you would fire somebody if they managed your investments that way. You need to be better at investing God's money than that. You need to be as careful on investing his money as you are investing the money for yourself. And so you need to be doing due diligence on these ministries and checking them out and doing all this stuff. And that is what led me, because we were starting to have these events pretty regularly, to forming a foundation that Rachel's sister runs, the foundation, and she vets all these things now. But at a minimum, you've just got to be thoughtful about who you're going to give it to. Because if you give $100,000 to a ministry that their whole budget is $100,000, you could screw them up.
Yeah. Understand.
And or if they're misbehaving with the money, or they're usually not misbehaving, they're just incompetent sometimes. And
and giving a certain amount of money, you're right. I think to smaller ones where you're the big donor, and if you stop giving for whatever reason in the next 2 years, that they go under, that brings them harm, right? So it's being really thoughtful and wise about the amount of money you give to each. But that's the fun part, Brandon, too, is figuring out, what do you guys love as a family? What are the things that you're like, oh my gosh, we want to put our resources and our money towards this type of organization, or that are doing, it's doing clean water or rescuing kids out of trafficking, or you get to really figure out as a family, like, what are these things that we're passionate about? And that's the exciting part about all of this. It can be so helpful. It can be so helpful.
We've had a lot of fun with it.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. To learn more about how to plan for retirement, visit RamseySolutions.com/retire or click the link in the show notes. Ramsey Solutions is a paid non-client promoter of participating pros. Learn more at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.